Hi, and welcome to Southern Maryland Divers product review showcase. Today we're going to be going over two different cameras that we sell here in the dive shop that are used for diving. Both of them are still cameras as well as video cameras, and we've seen them used in diving with great success. Most of our videos are made with one or the other camera here, and we've had a lot of questions on the difference between the two cameras, which there are several differences, but when it comes down to it, they're both great cameras, so I wanted to review them both, do a side-by-side comparison. So we're going to go over the GoPro HD Hero 2 as well as the Intova Sport Pro camera. Let's look at the GoPro first. So GoPro HD Hero 2 is a very popular camera with sport enthusiasts, extreme sports, and we sell quite a few of them here in the shop. This is the HD Hero 2 Outdoor Edition. This is the one that we recommend to most divers. GoPro does not have yet a diving package, so we recommend this one. The Outdoor Edition comes with several different mounting options for the camera, one of them being a vented helmet strap. You could use that with like a Swiftwater helmet or a whitewater rafting helmet, anything that has vents in it, any helmet that has vents in it. And it comes with a head strap that goes over your head. This is what we use when we're diving most of the time, so anything you look at, the camera is going to look at as well. It comes with two curved and two flat surface adhesive mounts. Basically, they just go on to whatever you wanted to mount it on, and two of them are curved for used on curved surfaces, and then the other ones are flat. It's all 3M tape, so it's very secure when you secure it down. I actually have one mounted to a magnet that I've put on top of a vehicle at upward of 80 miles per hour, and it stayed just fine, so they're really secure. And it comes with a three-way pivot arm. Okay, so this is the package you get right here. All the mounts and all the accessories are down here. In this package, you're going to get the GoPro HD Hero 2 camera, the housing with a fisheye lens on the front for the wide-angle view that this camera has, and you get two backs, one of them being a completely sealed back for use with wet conditions or diving, and then you're going to get a back, and they're interchangeable, but you're going to get a back that has vents on it. And the vents are made for using it when you're not in a damp condition. You don't have to worry about the dirt or mud or water, and you need the sound, as well as it creates venting in the back of the camera to keep it from warming up. When you use these underwater, you're obviously going to be using the one without the vents in it because you don't want the water to get in the housing. The GoPro claims waterproof up to 197 feet, which is well outside of the recreational dive limits that you'll be diving in. Most people will be diving in. The problem with the camera is it gets quite hot when it's being used, so if you don't have the vented back on it, you're going to need to put something in there to create that, or to prevent that fogging from coming. GoPro sells their anti-fog inserts, and basically they go in the side of the housing, like right here. I put two of them in, one on each side. These are reusable. When they stop working, I say about 2 or 3 uses. You can put it in an oven at, I think it says 300 degrees for about 5 minutes. Basically zaps all the moisture out of it, and you can reuse them. So we sell these here in the shop for that. So you get the two different backs on it. You're going to use the one for diving. I've never had one flood. I've had my GoPros on well over 100 dives. Never had one flood on me. The O-ring is very easy to visualize when you seal it, so you can make sure that it's good and sealed up tight. Very simple to use. The only problem with the housing is that because of the curved lens on the front, the fisheye lens on the front of this housing, the way the light hits, once you're underwater, the way the light hits this housing, it creates a vignetting effect on your 1080 HD video. So GoPro, to compete against that, or to come out with a solution, has come out with a dive housing. Now, they don't sell dive kit yet. Like this is the Outdoor Edition. They don't sell Underwater Edition. I'm sure they're in the works of that. But as of right now, if you were to buy this camera, this is $299. If you were to buy this camera and you wanted to use the 1080 HD underwater and have real crisp, clear video without the vignetting effect, you would have to get their dive housing, which runs about $50. So basically it's the same housing as this with a flat port on the front. So that's the HD Hero 2 from GoPro, $299. And then you would probably want to spend the extra $50 and get the dive housing as well. We run specials on these every once in a while. Just call the shop and check with us. We might be running a special if you're interested in getting one. So that's GoPro HD Hero 2. We're going to take everything out of the package in a minute and go over both of them, show them side by side. The Intova Sport Pro is Intova's attempt at directly competing with GoPro, but more directly towards the underwater realm, since that's what Intova does. This one runs $199. It comes with everything you need to use it underwater. It comes already with your flat housing, your flat port housing, so you don't have to worry about that vignetting at all with this. This camera is made for underwater use. You can use it for other outdoor activities, but unlike the GoPro, this one is made directly for underwater use. A couple differences. GoPro is only 197 feet. This one's 200 feet, difference of 3 feet. Both of them are well outside the recreational dive limits, so most everybody's going to be fine with the depth limits on these housings. A couple other differences, minute differences as far as resolutions and frames per second is the biggest one. The GoPro has a 60 frames per second at 720 HD. This one does not. It's only 30 frames per second. That can make a big difference if you're trying to do some really slow motion video in post-processing, but with underwater and diving footage, a lot of times you're not trying to do really slow motion stuff. That's more for your extreme sports, your skiing, your racing, and stuff like that. So the Intova full 1080 HD, just like the GoPro. The GoPro, however, has the megapixels on their pictures are only 11 megapixels versus 12 on this one. A couple other differences real quick while we're talking about it. The GoPro has an 1100 milliamp hour battery, while the Intova has a 1400 milliamp battery. GoPro battery can come out. You can swap that out. You can get an extra battery and pop it in, pop it out. The Intova you cannot. It's built in, so you would have to charge this again. GoPro takes a regular SD card. Class 10 is recommended, up to a 32 gig card. The Intova takes a micro SD card. So up to a 32 gig card. And let's see here. So you have a smaller card you would need for that, but it's just not a big deal. They're both easy to get a hold of. Both of them for charging purposes take the regular mini USB. So just a regular mini USB slot there. So pretty easy to charge. This has a burst mode as well, 3, 5, or 10 frames, as well as the GoPro. Another difference that I've noticed is that the GoPro has time-lapse mode, which you can set up in every half a second to take a picture, and this one, the Intova, does not have time-lapse. So there's a few more options for out-of-water experiences with the GoPro. If you're looking for something mainly to do something in the water, though, the Intova would probably fit your bill just perfectly. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and unpack these, and I'm going to show you the differences in size and the differences in the cases and stuff with the two different cameras. Okay, we're doing a side-by-side comparison of the Intova Sport Pro camera and the GoPro HD Hero 2. These are the two cameras side by side. We're going to look at the GoPro HD Hero 2 really quick first. Okay, so this is the basic package you're going to get when you get the HD Hero 2 in the outdoor version. All of the mounting accessories that come for this use a very simple, you stick it just like that, and then a pin goes through, and everything's mounted that way. So you have all these different mounting accessories, different mounting options. They make housings, they make an adapter for NVGs, for night vision goggles, for anybody that might be in the military, that you can mount it on there. They make a tripod adapter that you could use with any standard tripod screw mount. This is what comes inside the package. This is your head strap mount, so it would go around your head, very similar to that picture right there. And you could, anything you look at is going to be what you see on the GoPro. So very simple mounting, tons of mounting options. It also gives you range of motion when you're using the camera and where you aim it at. So out of the package, this is what comes out of the package. You have your on-off button as well as the rotating through the menu button here, and then this is the shutter button. You also use this to select things once you're in the menu. A couple things on the camera. You have mini USB right here for your charging purposes, as well as transferring in and out of the camera. You have a microphone jack here, so you could use this outside of the housing with a microphone in jack. You have a TV out jack, so you could play directly from the camera to a TV through composite attachments. You have a mini HDMI, yeah, I'll get it eventually, HDMI jack here that you can play directly out of the camera as well. Housing opens very simply, just comes open like this, pops open, and you now have access to the camera. Camera comes out just like this. This is one of the big differences between the HD Hero 2 and the Intova, is that the camera itself can come out of here, so you can clean the lens. Another feature of the HD Hero 2 is that it has an LED here that fires when it's being used. It has a LED here that would show that it's on, and an LED on the bottom that shows when it's on, as well as the back here. So you have indicators on almost all sides, so bottom, top, front, and back, showing that the camera is being used. Personally, I leave that off because it eats up battery. It's not horrible, but it does take some battery to power those, so I leave it off to extend my battery life. The battery itself, you can remove and replace in between dives if you needed to. It's very easy to pop it out and pop it back in. That's one of the big advantages I see of the GoPro, is that you can change the battery out. You don't have to charge it, and I'll show you in the Intova how that works. The GoPro also comes with an extended battery option that you can get and use underwater. Let's see here, where is that? That is up here. The battery backpack option comes with an extra battery, and then this piece that would go onto the back of your GoPro 2. So it gives you twice the battery that you would normally have. I have used that underwater. It works great. Extends your battery life by double. So if you're doing multiple dives over one day, that might be an option that you might want to think about. You can also charge both batteries through just one port. So this one has a charger in the back. It's also got a battery indicator on it. You just push the button, it'll show what the battery charge is. This package comes with a vented, you're going to have a different housing back here. Basically this pops off like this, and then you pop the new housing, which is a little bit thicker, onto the back to accommodate this additional battery holder. It comes with one that's vented as well as one that seals for underwater, so you'd be good to go with that. Okay, so that's your extended battery. A couple other options that GoPro offers for their camera is the Wi-Fi backpack, and basically that is this adapter right here, and it's Wi-Fi enabled, so you would clip it on like this, and now this camera can be controlled through a remote that GoPro sells, that you can turn it on, turn it off, change all the functions, all the options of the GoPro remotely through Wi-Fi. The range on that is actually really good. 600 feet they claim, and then eventually there's going to be an app for your iPhone or your iPad. You'll actually be able to stream through the Wi-Fi the video that you're taking from this camera. So that's a pretty cool little option. When you get the Wi-Fi backpack for your camera, it comes with this piece, and then both of the housings, the vented as well as this housing that's for underwater, that you would replace on here to accommodate the Wi-Fi. Now obviously Wi-Fi is not going to work underwater, so that would be something to keep in mind, but it's great for topside uses. Another option that GoPro offers for their GoPro camera that would make it very similar to the Intova is your LCD backpack. That clips on very similar to all the other clip-ons. It just has a hinge on it just like this and clips onto the back. Very easy to install. But what this does is it gives you an LCD screen on the back. You have controls on the side, so you can now control it, but you're also going to be able to see the video that you're taking, which is a big plus for a lot of people. Myself, I don't really use that much. I have one, but I don't use it much. I use it for topside stuff more than anything else. So that would be something to consider if you're one of the people that like to see what you're shooting while you're shooting it. So that's your LCD backpack. Something else to keep in mind is that this draws power. So every time that this is on, you're going to be drawing power from a single battery. It will not work with the battery backpack. So you wouldn't be able to put this on, have extra battery, and then put the LCD screen on. It just wouldn't work. It's one attachment or the other. So something to keep in mind when you get it. With regular battery on this, the 1100, just no LCD, no attachments, you're running a 2.5 hour battery runtime, supposedly. That's what they claim. But you can always swap it out with an extra battery if you had an extra battery laying around charged up. So that's your GoPro HD Hero 2. Your different modes I'll have listed up on the screen. There you go, you're sealed back up for water tightness. Okay, the Intova. This is the way it comes out of the package. Flat screen, or flat housing rather. It prevents vignetting. All of your controls are here on the back, so it's not as menu driven as the GoPro is. Everything's menu driven with 2 buttons on this. This one has all of the options down here. You have mode, menu, OK, play, stop, record. This also has a digital zoom built in. So you can actually digitally zoom this. The GoPro does not have that. So you have a power button here and a shutter button here. Offers stills, offers video, 1080 HD, very similar to the GoPro. When you open this up, there is a noticeable difference when you open up the Intova. One thing that I did notice right off the bat is that the Intova housing is much tighter than the GoPro, which is a nice feature, but not necessarily means anything. So when you open this up, you'll notice that the camera is actually built in to the housing. Okay, this doesn't pop out like the GoPro. So that's a downside for the Intova, is that you can't change the battery out. You can't take this out, clean the housing, and of course, as long as you keep it clean, you're not going to have to worry about cleaning the lens on the inside. You have your micro SD card slot right there for up to a 32 gig card. You also have a TV out, so you can play this directly to the TV. It comes with all the composite cables in the package that you need. And then your mini USB port for charging the battery, as well as for transfers out in and out. This camera has the LCD built into the back of it already, so it's there. It shows what you have. As you can see, it's a pretty smooth picture going on there. There's not a lot of chop in it. It's saying no card because there's no card in it. Right now it's in 1080 HDP mode. So to change the modes, you just go through and hit the mode button. And I think the battery just died. Anyway, it's very easy to change. It's very simple to change all the different modes on it. I need to charge that up. Okay, so one of the other differences on this, we talked about the differences in the depth. The GoPro is for 197 feet. This one goes down to 200 feet, both well outside of the recreational dive limits. But your mounting options for the Intova are different. So this has a standard tripod mount screw on the bottom. So any tripod, you can use this for any tripod accessories you could use this for with. Intova also sells all of the same very similar mounts as GoPro does. They have a head strap, they have a wrist housing, a chest housing, so you can mount it to your chest. So very similar. Difference, $299, $199, meant for diving. You won't have to buy an additional housing, but not as configurable as this. Video, very similar. We'll show you a difference in the video quality. You can't really tell any difference in the video quality until you get underwater, and then you have the vignetting with this one unless you have the dive housing. We do have those. They're back ordered right now, but they're on their way. So that's the difference between the two cameras. Very similar in size. GoPro's just a tad bit smaller, but as you can see, pretty similar in size. Weight just about the same, and the price difference that we just talked about. So have them both in stock. You want to come check them out, give us a call. We'll may arrange for a time. You can come check them out. You can also check out GoPro through our link at www.southernmarylanddivers.com. You can call us at 443-295-3225.